I want to talk about who you are, which is an interesting topic. Many people assume who they are is their stories in the mind. So anything that belongs to the mind, the stories and memories, and even the concept of you, the role that you're playing, the the mask that you're wearing, the inner dialogue that you have about you and the sense of self that you're feeling inside of you, none of those things are who you truly are. There is a conception of you that is a sense of self that lives in the dimension of the mind. And your body that you have, that you might be working out, that you eat food to nourish, is almost like the clothes that you're wearing in the mind that you think and entertain and believe and have opinions about something or somebody is a tool. Neither of them is who you are. Who you are is the awareness that can observe, that is invisible, that doesn't have any opinion or concept. So even when I say who I am or who you are is awareness. Awareness is a word. And the moment I make you the word, it becomes a concept called awareness. So you are, that's it. Who you are is who you are. The are-ness, the amness, the being is who we are. Now, it's sort of like this dimension is fundamental, but it's kind of hidden, right? Because we're so caught into this noise that has louder volume of the five senses and also the emotions and feelings and the thoughts and what we believe, that those elements are louder than who you are underneath. So it's easy to dismiss it. But what happens is that in my experience, your body is fully connected to who you are. So if that you, who you are, is being neglected, the symptom shows up in your body. Now, when I say body, it's your physical body, but your world, the material body that you're living in, the life in the visible element, the angle, is going to give you a feedback how much the mind that you entertain is aligned with who you are, the soul that you're here to express. Yeah. So who you are is in more subtle space where you often people have a difficult time detecting because again, other stuff is louder. So then the question is, what do we do about it? Right? We must be able to tap into that dimension of the spirit, dimension of the awareness, dimension of the soul, and we must know how to tap into it. You tap into it by being in silence, and you tap into it by becoming aware of the silence and the presence underneath of every single experience, underneath of the emotion that you feel, underneath of the narrative that you have, underneath of what you believe to be true, there is this place of knowing. There's this place of presence. There's this place of silence. That is the dimension of the spirit, and that is where who you are actually resides, and we want to stay connected to that at all time. Now, you might be able to call that love, you might be able to call that dimension God. That is where everything is being generated. And as long as you are trying to understand or detect that dimension of the fifth dimension of your being, dimension of the silence, dimension of the presence, using the rational mind or five sensory perception, you will never be able to find it. And because we're so dependent on those senses, the dimension of the silence is in our background. Then we end up not living from that place. And when we're not living from that place, we end up feeling exhausted or having this sense of something is missing or having this sense of trying because those are all language of the survival mind. And the less you're connected to the spirit, less you're connected to the silence, more the survival mind can kick in because it wants to play its show. So who you are is in the dimension of the presence, is in the dimension of the silence, is in the dimension of the knowing. And then the more you can cultivate the language called intuition, you'll be able to tap into that. You'll be able to feel the presence of you in every single experience, in underneath of every single experience. So I'm kind of speaking slow and a little bit more in a depth place today because the more I talk about it, the more I tap into it. And the more I tap into it, the more I slow down. So I'm curious to know what your takeaway is, what your perspective is, and what you are getting away from. Using the comment below, I want you to share. And also, though, I don't say this too much. If you know anybody who you think that would benefit from this information, feel free to share this video because I would love for everybody, 9 billion people, is it 9 billion people in the world to really truly get this. We must stop living life at the surface level and to really bring more of who we are in this physical realm. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one, next video.